Hello everyone, welcome to Citizen Sleeper. This is the first I'm hearing about this game. I just saw it on Steam and I saw the video and it looked really good, and I have no idea what's going on other than the fact that I work at a space station and we've gone rogue or something like that. Alright, so let's get to it, and I hope you all have as much fun as I do. Alright, start a new game. Empty. Oh, so there's a character class. Okay. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. My bad, I dropped my mic there. Alright, so I got points. Engineer, work with machines and physical tools. Interface, work with digital interfaces. Endure, use strength or strength of will. Intuit, I think that's how it's pronounced. Approach problems with awareness. And engage, approach a problem head on. Alright, who else do we have? Extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and high level of endurance. Okay. Are these... Oh, okay, so the skill is already preset. I don't have much choice in the matter. So, basically, do we go the smart route or the strength route? Let's go with smart. Not that I'm smart or anything. Oh, I love that. That was pretty cool. Kind of gave me a bit of a Stranger Things vibe. The first thing you become aware of on waking is a disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body. Given your current circumstances, the walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the binaural quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. Remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you, 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be at the grim and heartless rock. Even if in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but even then your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else will be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth? Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, then softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Alright, so. Okay. I guess it's our only option for the moment. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of a scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. Huh. I like the little spider robot he's got on his shoulder. You are surrounded by angular and coherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, you all thought out yet? Almost. Stay silent. Well, almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside other outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read the expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are the things you know, but not the things you feel. You are no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect the property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were a part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, Sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion? Fatigue? You shakily get to your feet and nod. Alright, you head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the wrecks. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Welcome to Erlin's Eye, Life of the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle. You need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Okay. Is it that bad? Yeah, that's it. End cycle. All cycles need to end, rest, and prepare for the next one. That's an interesting way of saying sleep. You wake, curled up in the corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the Mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all of this, what matters? Getting answers. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What S&R did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way of understanding all this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, but you'll have to learn to survive first. The Mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated power. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pull at your skin, a constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's not long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Alright, so how do I do this? Oh, I think they're using cryptocurrency in the future. Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sensor on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly rising. How are you feeling? The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe, he pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Sure. Yeah, sure. Let's go to work. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old halls down, sell them off at the shipyards with the bright market dealers of cryo. Occasionally we pull out something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scraps. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you in a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Airwell Cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we usually trade out here. He stuffs them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, looking at something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Alright, so I guess we're gonna go to the scrapyard. Alright, looks like we have a choice at this point. Hull dissection. Or do we go with manual salvage? From what our skill level's at, looks like we don't have the endurance to handle it. It's safe, but I'm still trying to figure this out. What it is? A debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if it misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Back in business, every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. Alright, so from what I understand is that risky is risky, obviously. Safe is safe. But I'm gonna lose some endurance here. Or I don't know. Let's go with the risky one. You know, maybe high reward. Maybe have a better chance. We'll see. We'll figure it out as we go along. Oh. Start action? Yes, please. That's right. So you get to choose the dice. You know, you roll the dice every time and for every day, or at least for every cycle. And then you get to choose the dice to complete the action. So, of course, the higher the number, the better chances you have. Alright, let's see. Alright. Oh, okay. Oh, repeatable action. Okay. So, I guess I could do this again. There's quite a bit going on here. I am not sure if I'll be getting the hang of this. I'm probably going to be screwing up a lot in the very beginning. So, you don't know. Okay. Alright, so 50% positive, 50% neutral. So, either or, I should, you know, fairly pass it without any harm to myself. Or losing energy. Hey, there we go. Alright. That looks like endurance really did affect me quite a bit compared to this. Alright, there's a 50-50. Woo! Somehow got through that just fine. Gambled a little bit. Alright. I guess that's... Oh, and there were more? I guess these are the other areas I can work at. Unfortunately, I already ran out. Oh, okay, let's see. Upgrade. Can I upgrade now? No, I ain't got no upgrade points. Okay. Well, now what? Do I just go back to sleep? Yeah, okay. I mean, I got no more dice, so I guess we should focus on gathering energy. Because if we don't have enough energy, we don't get that. Oh, yeah, no. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station that shifted skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across the colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Touch it. You find a point of the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and pass there and around you. You touch more points than you have your fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling in two different directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connected nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Well, I'm guessing we just got myself killed, or close to. Alright, well. I guess we gotta find some place to eat, wherever that may be. I can't go any further. Okay, so ask for directions. Why wander when there's hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. Ooh, danger. Explore the market. The smells, sounds, and bustling activity of bright market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. Okay, so let's see what I can get for this. Ooh, look, 100%. Alright, let's do it. Local knowledge, yes. Okay, now what? Can I buy anything? Hardware exchange. Street food vendor. Yes, we need food. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus onto a dented wok. His other hand idly tossed in a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flake dressing. The smell is incredible. Huh. Oh, you know, the designs are pretty interesting, if you haven't noticed. It kind of reminds me of like an old-fashioned Final Fantasy, with like a little bit of like Ghibli studio. I mean, especially if you look at the food there, it looks it looks tasty. It's got that flow that they like to have in Studio Ghibli. Or I might just be wrong. I'm probably just talking crap. But I do like the designs. That's pretty cool. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad and depositing it in a plastic tray. A stack of his chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over the payments. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to the exposed stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Memphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. Or wait, thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you, you sleepers, Infant says while he cooks his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycle spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. Oh, I didn't notice that. Huh. I wonder what those are. I guess we'll probably find out the more we learn about them as we get along. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite off the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Alright. Looks like we won't starve to death this time around. Okay, let's see. Where should we go next? Slum Doctor. Yeah, we should probably get ourselves checked up. Who knows how much damage we have taken while we were out. Especially after I stupidly allowed myself to die. Or get close to. I don't know, we'll see. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in cue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hat block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer in this body, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside and look in the enforcer. Let's look inside. Let's see if we can just take a peek inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light flittering through a far doorway. Screened with plastic sheeting beyond which blurred shapes move, the slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit. Comes a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away, replacing the plastic sheet over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns as you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. Wow, that was a bit of a tongue twister there. Hold on, let me try to read that again. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. Yeah, okay. Sorry, mini stroke there. Anyway, they open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please, sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. Alright, so this guy's... I don't know. He's pretty cool looking, honestly. The cape, I guess you could call it, is transparent, and that's pretty cool. It's like it's like those rain jackets you wear, but instead of that, thick, untransparent yellow, you got this one, which is kind of interesting to say. I don't know. You could say it looks like it's a curtain, but dirty. You sit. Sabin turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to see me. They set the diagnostic scan on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying, they say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNR doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when you're not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNR remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabin says. And you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNR has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabin looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this. This is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabin works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabin turns to face you. I may be able to help, they sigh, as you see the darkness in their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yaragan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yaragan has connections. Smugglers from the Star Wars Belt, mercenaries working for the corporation's member. If they can source a stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabin sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabin walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabin still staring at, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay. Looks like he probably has some guilt from the way he was wording things. We'll see what needs to be done. Alright, where should we go next? Hardware exchange. Alright, what can be done here? Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Our cell components. The board exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up. Break down and sell off, and you're happy to supply it. Oh, I don't have any. I don't have anything yet. Okay. Probably can't do anything for now. Passage still low end. Let's go to work. Try to finish these. we gotta find... I gotta find out how to make money. Assist the shipbuilder. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be him. Or haul materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a load of materials and adding them, and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. See if this works out for us. Aha! Alright, we'll do this one more time. Neutral outcome. Okay. That's better than nothing. Okay, well, that's it. We don't have any more. So, we're gonna go home for now and end the cycle. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparks with glittering lights, like stars reflected in the winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of the thread across the ring. The trees forms, then leaping off into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you can begin to try. Let's focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively choose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open boxes. You look out across these ghost landscapes of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that instant tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. I guess the first thread leads out, away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. That's kind of creepy. You open your eyes. Time is short. Okay. So, I'm guessing the corporation is following us from the sounds of it. And these... It sounds like they're dreams, but it might be like us, the way for it to tell it that it's in danger, It's subconscious. It's I don't know, it's weird. So far it really does sound like we sold our body and then in our mind to be transferred into like a robotic machine, and that's what even from the design, we're obviously a machine, we're no longer human. But yeah, if any of them try to escape, there's obviously going to be like a GPS tracking system, especially for something that's really, really valued from the sounds of things. They're the only ones that have the stabilizer, which means they're the ones that have machines that can work for them. Or, there's other corporations out there, but so it's still a little too early to figure it out. But I'm gonna leave it right here for right now, guys. This is an interesting storyline, in my opinion. I'm loving the art. The storyline is just enough. It's a little slow, but it gives you enough to get your attention. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about more about not where we're going to go from here, but I feel like there's going to be more to the story, But anyway, like I said, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys liked the video. Please hit a like and maybe give me a follow if you feel like it, if you want to see more of what happens next. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good night and take care. Bye.